Father-son relationships can be challenging, especially when dad's the head of a galactic empire.
I hereby banish the Guardians of the Galaxy from this palace.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we will explore the comic book origins of Star-Lord's father, Jason. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. As with most comic book characters, there are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We've chosen to primarily follow the storyline which unfolded in 1977's Marvel Preview number 11, which was expanded upon in 2000's The Inhumans numbers 2 to 4 and 2015's Guardians of the Galaxy number 0.1.
Enough. I'll deal with you myself.
Jason, the father of Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, doesn't possess otherworldly superpowers. Sure, he's very handy with all sorts of weapons, but that doesn't really matter. See, when you're the Emperor of Spartax and control entire planets, you don't really need superpowers. Jason was introduced into the Star-Lord saga about a year after Peter Quill himself debuted. Star-Lord was fighting goons on the planet Spartax when he came face to face with the Emperor, who turned out to be his own father. As Jason told it, when he was a prince, he couldn't stand all the pomp and circumstance of court life, so he took off to explore the universe. But when war broke out between Spartax and an enemy, Jason headed towards home, only to find that his starship was in need of repair. He crashed on Earth in a remote area where a young woman named Meredith Quill found him. Jason was badly hurt, so she nursed him back to health, and wait for it, the two fell in love, and you know what that means.
She was an amazing woman. Nursed me back to health, single-handed.
His ship repaired, Jason left for Spartax, promising to return for her and the son she was now carrying. Back on Spartax, Jason charged his uncle with retrieving Meredith and her baby, but the duplicitous uncle hired an assassin to take care of them. Meredith was slain, but Peter escaped, and the uncle simply told Jason that both Meredith and her son had died in childbirth. After the death of his father, Jason then assumed the throne. Back in the present day, he offered Peter a chance to stay with him, but Star-Lord had no use for a court life and quickly left. More of Jason's backstory was revealed in a 2000 tale, in which the group known as the Inhumans were being forced by Ronan the Accuser to sabotage a royal wedding. Jason, now known as Jason, was wed to the princess of another empire in order to unite the two forces. He met the Inhumans, not knowing of their plans to assassinate his bride, and took them in as his guests. It seems that he was especially fond of Medusa, although he was honor-bound to go through with his own wedding. Jason's training involved working in a dozen different capacities, including as a fighter pilot. His exposure to other people made him question the legitimacy of his empire and whether he would really like to lead it. But he felt that it was his duty to do so, even if he had qualms. On his wedding day, the Inhumans attacked as planned, but they were foiled. Enemies of Jason then framed him for being the instigator of the assassination attempt, using as evidence his friendliness with the Inhumans and his conversation about doubting the worth of the Empire. He was then banished forever to wander space, which eventually leads to his arrival on Earth and his meeting of Meredith. In 2013, Jason's story about coming to Earth got another retelling. The basics of the story remained the same as the original, but there was more time for Jason and Meredith's bond to grow. Also, gone was any indication that he'd been banished from his home. Most importantly, this version of Jason seemed more loving and kind. But he sure didn't act that way towards Star-Lord when they finally met. As Emperor, Jason went so far as to declare Earth a protected planet, and that aliens who landed there could be punished by death. All as a way of luring Star-Lord there so he could take him as a prisoner of war, and maybe kill him. Thanks to the Guardians of the Galaxy films, Star-Lord has become quite famous. But don't look for Jason as his father. Instead, Kurt Russell plays the human personification of Ego, the living planet.
I'm your dad, Peter.
Yes, a planet is Star-Lord's father on the big screen. And why not, right? Come on. But Jason has appeared in the Guardians TV series, where his relationship with his son is appropriately complicated.
Okay, enough. Ew. That's my mom you're talking about.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.